All right, let's go. How's everybody doing? All right. What we got? We got a whole bunch here already. Let's see what we got. Hey, Eric. Uh, they pushed the game back. Be at 7:30 on ESPN. They moved Washington Islanders ESPN Plus. That doesn't make any sense. The game doesn't have any. It has no meaning, other than I guess Tampa could possibly win the division. But I'm sure that. How you doing, David? I'm sure that most of us are going to be resting players, right? Huh. How you doing, Jameson? Yeah, exactly, Prowagan. JC. Tampa's playing the starters, I guess, because they can still technically win the division. Quinn Hughes tied the Canucks franchise record for most points of the defenseman last night. Man, at 25 years old. Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame he's not on a better team. Huh? Ekblad for Hughes. Come on, Jameson. I think it's a fair deal. Seems fair for me. Yeah, Ryan, I don't know why the Lightning would play any of their starters tonight. Yeah, exactly, David. I think it's a fair deal. All right. So, days that we can throw in for Hagee, too. Jones and Ekblad for Hughes. Ooh. That's a lot of what's Hughes' salary? Craig, yeah, no, I know. We still could get the Leafs. I know. But they'd have to lose both games, right? Cooch passed McKinnon for most points. Yeah, Cooch is going to be a problem. No doubt. So we'll have to see how everybody matches up. Cooch won the Art. Is that? Oh, that's right, because Colorado is done. That's right. Colorado's done. Hey, SoFlo, rest literally everyone. Play better on the road and it takes pressure off of us the need to split those first two games. Agreed, SoFlo. Ryan, I don't know why you guys would play your starters against the Panthers tonight. We're going to be sleepwalking. We're hardly even going to show up. I wonder if half the team even makes the trip. Like they'll make some guys from Charlotte fly in. Hughes 9.5. Yeah. That would clear out a lot of space, Ekblad and Jones. Ekblad's just a toss-in, though. Yeah, Tampa's playing for home ice. Right. No, I get it. But, I mean, I wouldn't think they would need to play a lot of their players to beat us tonight. Vanacek is going to be in. Jay says, Demidov had 5.8 points in his debut. You're really going to use it. I bet. Oh, sorry, brother. Dave says, if the starters play, there will be violence. Yeah, hopefully not. Yeah, Craig says, the D team and a few athletic trainers in tonight. Hey, let's suit Luongo up. Put Luongo in. I hate that they subjected Bobrovsky to that garbage last night. Eric, I think Tampa scores 10 tonight. If they're going to play their starters against what we're going to throw out there tonight, they might. They might, Eric. Remember a couple of years ago, the President's Trophy season, we rested a bunch of guys the last game against Montreal, and they did get 10. It was hysterical because all year long our fans in the arena had been yelling, we want 10, and we never got there. And then the last game of the year, Montreal did in our building. That That was a harbinger of things to come. That's for sure. Ryan, you had fun last night against the Rangers. Yeah. Yeah, hey, look. I mean, it was 3-1. We quit, and they didn't. Right? Kenneth, Tampa's already clinched home ice, but they could win first place. They could win first place. Jameson says, I like the fact that we finish our season tonight. Plenty of time to ramp up and get our line set for game one. Yeah, especially so we'll have an idea about Tkachuk. SoFlo says, am I worried about Ekblad coming back slow after not playing for so long? No, we've seen Ekblad come back before. If anything, he comes back and tries to do too much in his first game or two. Because he wasn't hurt, right? So I think he'll be super fresh legs, honestly. Might be a little bit rusty, but how would we tell the difference? I'm just saying. With Ekblad, how would we know the difference? He'll probably try to do too much. Bulwer says, I'd much rather now have Tampa win out and they'll have the Leafs out. I don't know if Toronto plays tonight, right? Hey, Emperor King. The last night game against the Oilers was fun. Yeah. Calgary can still get the 7 seed. SoFlo, yeah. He's going to come back. He's going to try to do too much and turn over 5 times a game. He'll overskate the puck. It'll be the one time of the year he overskates the puck. Dennis says, hopefully the Leafs have clinched tonight by the second intermission. Don't pull a Montreal. Montreal's not going to do this, right? Craig says, Ekblad will be fine. He just needs to chill with his stick, no penalty. Yeah, no penalties. So Montreal, they're not going to blow this, right? David, they can get first place. They can get first place. I looked at this earlier because regulation wins is the first tiebreaker. So Toronto has 40 regulation wins and Tampa has 40 regulation wins. So they're tied. So if Toronto loses both their games and Tampa wins both their games, Tampa only even needs to win one of them in regulation if Toronto loses both their games. And then because regulation wins is the first tiebreaker. I don't think it's going to happen. So, Flo, yeah, it'll go. Yeah, I would suspect 6 or 7 for sure. Yeah. No, I was confused earlier too, David. I thought it was ROW was first. I thought it was regulation and overtime wins, but it's the first one. Unfortunately, it's not head-to-head. Yeah, 1 point versus Buffalo tonight, and it'll be over. Who stopped doing their Buffalo went back to tanking. Trey. What happened to the internet? Am I back? That was weird. Hold on a second. I actually hear a truck beeping. I wonder if our internet is toast. Hold on a second. No, I don't know what that's all about. Looks like I'm back. That was weird. It just did a whole flash there. All right. Back to normal here. Bowler says, watch them change it to what the NFL does and make head-to-head the tiebreaker. I wish they would. Boulevard and choke was so powerful it nearly killed the stream. Hey, Flames. Yeah, man. I'd like to see you guys get in. Huberdeau and Weegar. Weegar deserves an opportunity to atone for Game 2 against Tampa. Huh? Soflo says depth is going to be the decision maker this series. Erod, Luciano, Lundell, Boquist. Let's get these guys hot. I wish Boquist would get a goal. Everybody else has gotten the one except for Sturm, right? But Boquist, January 25th. It's like, dang, man. Yeah, good point, scientists. At least for Hagee and Rhino, open up the floodgates right before the playoffs. Yeah, they should be feeling pretty good. Ray says, I want the Jackets to make it for the feel-good story. I get it. But I already wrote my opening game intro, so I need Montreal to win, or I'm going to have to do a damn rewrite. And Montreal making the playoffs has a lot more meat on the bone humor-wise than Columbus. You know? That's all I can say about that. Emperor, I hope the Habs don't blow it too. David says, I'm confused. 2 points per win is 4. If the Bolts win both, then they would be tied, and points would have less regulation wins. No, they won't have less. They'll have more. David. Hold on a second. Let me share the screen here. Hold on a second. Here we go. All right, so here's Toronto and Tampa. They both got 40 regulation wins. So if Toronto loses both games and Tampa wins both games, and even one of them they win in regulation, and they'll have 41 regulation wins, and that's it. They get it. They get the division. But Kenneth says it's not going to happen. They're not going to lose to Buffalo, right? David, quote Abraham Lincoln, F the Habs. Beto says Montreal can clinch tonight with any result that isn't a regulation win for Columbus. Right. No, that's all right, David. I figured I'd show it. It works out. Yeah, I found that out while I was doing the members podcast this morning, Kenneth. The Avs played their last game 2 days ago, right? How absurd is that? I went to go see if they could catch Dallas because Dallas is tanking and they've got no games left. Sofler says first 2 games are going to tell us a lot. If we lose game 1 in a blowout, it's whatever. But if we play our playoff style and lose 2-1, I'm more worried because those are the right games we're used to winning. Yeah, I agree with that assessment. Exactly. And look, Tampa's going to blow us out one of these games. I would be shocked if they didn't. Right? We have just not. We've won some games 2-1. We have. But there's just been too many times when it's gotten a little bit like the 2 games against the Caps got a little ugly. Dr. Doom says, hey, Jaws, hope you're doing well. I hope us winning President's Trophy and then get eliminated. I don't think the Jets will lose in the first round. I don't think so. They can't, right? I mean, even the Rangers made it to the Eastern Conference Final last year. Vasi could win. You think Vezina? He could. I don't know. Hellebuck's had a hell of a season. David. Oh, no. Boulevard says, watch the Sabres pull an oops, did my knee destroy your knee? Sorry, my bad. It's not like you wanted to get out of the first round. Anyway, Leafs. Which, by the way, did you see Rempe last night stick out his knee on Sturm, and then the look Sturm gave him? That kid's a punk, man. I wish we had somebody that size. That I wonder, can Puljujarvi fight? He's a big dude. We could sacrifice Puljujarvi to fight Rempe next time. Boulevard thinks the Jets will play Vegas in the conference final and be a better series than the first time that happened. That could very well happen. Sure. Kenneth says, even when the Leafs beat Tampa in the playoffs 2 years ago, both put up 7 on us game 1 and blew us out. Yep. Yeah. I mean, that's coming. Hopefully it's not game 1. Hopefully it's not game 1. I don't need that kind of – we don't need that. Let it be game 4 after we got a 3-0 lead. Glenn says, did Zito miss on knowing about Lane Hudson drafting 62? What year was he? Let's research that, Glenn. Let's see. He was drafted in 2022 with the 67th overall pick. So a bunch of teams missed him. So let's see what the Panthers had in 2022. Let's see. No, we did not miss out. The first pick of the 22 draft that the Panthers had was at number 93. We did not have a first or a second round draft pick that year. So, no, Zito did not miss out. Fair enough. I'm scrolling up because I missed some comments. Steven. Yeah, Goldie talked about how the Rangers looked like they were getting ready to quit. I don't think so, Eric. I don't think we're going to see anything remotely close to like what we'll see in the playoffs. Yeah, that noon stream after game 1 would be nuts. Yeah, no thank you. No thank you. David said, so the Leafs will choke just a matter of when. We own the Bolts in the playoffs 6 games at most. Cats and Avs and finals. Cats go back-to-back. So I want to agree with that, except we've played Tampa 3 times. They beat us twice. I hope you're right, but I have a feeling we should just play 1 game. We should just wait for Ekblad's suspension to be over. Just play 1 game like it's game 7. Wait for Chucky to be healthy. Because it's going to come down to game 7, in my opinion. Bulwer says, out of the past President's Trophy teams in the last 6 years, the Jets are the only one that I have any confidence that can actually win the Cup. And yeah, Florida, Boston, New York. It was a little early for Florida. They were scoring a lot, but the defense wasn't great. Hey, Simon, how you doing, bud? Well, how do I think we're going to do? If Kachuk actually comes back and is healthy, and we play our game, we should be winning. Now, there's no guarantee you're going to win the Cup again, but if we can beat Tampa, we can beat any of the other teams in the Atlantic. That's what I know. The nurse cross-checking by Byfield was unacceptable as a Kings fan. I was heated. Yeah, it's why, this time of year, players get weird, man. Hey, thank you, Eyes. Thank you, bud. So Eyes, I actually talked about that on the members podcast earlier today. That's the plan. That's the plan. After the Panthers games tonight, we'll figure out which one of the Blues, Flames, Wild games which one of the games is most important, best to watch, and that's the plan. Kyle just doesn't know it yet, but he'll be all right with that. Simon, I hadn't got fishing yet. I'm going to try to go out there Friday. Hopefully, I can get to the gym tomorrow. I was going to get there today, but I ended up having to do something else. We'll just leave it at that. Just leave it at that. Yeah, Craig. Tonight's game will be a glorified preseason game for sure. David says I'm almost right, except when I'm not. I agree. David, no, they get rockfish, but I don't go for the rockfish. I don't actually care for the taste of the rockfish. I just go to the end of the road here, a couple thousand yards down the road, right in the river. Big catfish, bass. The bass should be ready. The bass should be there now. So I might be able to, what's the weather going to be? Maybe tomorrow. Maybe one of these days I got to get out there this week to do the podcast. Thursday. Tomorrow's going to be a little chilly. Friday is going to be really nice. If I can get out there Friday, that would be the day. Because 56 tomorrow, 61 Thursday, with 70 on Friday, 74 Saturday. But then by next week, we're finally in the upper 60s permanently until it gets warmer. So just on the last few days of it being a little bit too chilly. Simon, we're going to be covering at least the two series from the Atlantic. We're going to be covering whoever the Panthers play and the other series. And then we're going to try to get some of the Western Conference games. Time and energy provided. It just depends on, are the Panthers going to quadruple overtime again? Stuff like that. Yeah, Adonis, no worry about last night. I agree. I can fish for strippers. Eyes, that's funny because there's a fish called crappie. And I remember when I first, when Matthias came up to me one day and I was cleaning them, he says, "What kind of fish is that?" I said, "It's crappie." He says, "What?" I said, it's crappie. That's the name of the fish. "Why you call that fish crappie?" And then he goes inside and he looked it up and he came back out and he's like, "I bet that crappie is delicious." I'll never forget it. He couldn't believe that there was a fish called crappie. And I know some people call it crappie, but it's crappie. TK wants to know, do I feel secure with the newer fourth line for the playoffs? It's going to be an even different fourth line, though. When Tkachuk comes back, you're going to have Rodriguez on the fourth line. I don't know what Maurice is going to do. I honestly, we've got so much depth, which is a good thing to have. But you're either going to have Boquist, Rodriguez, Greer, Gadjevich. I mean, two of those guys are going to be off the ice every night in one way, shape, or form or another. Everybody's good, Adonis. Kyle's trying to lose some weight. Kyle gained another 10 pounds after he gained all that weight last year during the playoffs. He's not real thrilled with the playoff pancakes. I need the playoff pancakes because the damn Lyme disease keep me too damn skinny. I can't gain weight. I ate peanut butter and jelly waffles all day long. I can't keep weight on. Soflo says, deserved confidence, not arrogance, confidence. We're the champs until proven otherwise, and we need to go into this series with the expectation of victory. I like it, Soflo. I like it. Bolt Skucharov says, hey, Jaws, with us at home, you're a different beast. No disagreement. No disagreement. Now, I am going to look into this. Maybe one of the members' podcasts here. I want to do a side-by-side comparison with the Panthers and the Lightning. I want to see how many of the games that the Lightning played, obviously at home, where they got a team that played the Panthers the night before. because it's happened 3 times here in the last couple of weeks. And I'm just curious, because you don't really pay attention to that stuff during the regular season. I'm curious how many of those games that Tampa has played at home, they had the benefit of a team that played the Panthers the night before. I'm just scrolling to the bottom, and then I'll scroll back up. Yeah, Adonis, he's trying. He's trying. No, I agree, Colin. No stock in the Knights game. Absolutely. Soflo says, I'm expecting a big playoff from Chucky. He's been sitting for a while. Should have some juice. I'm excited. He carried us in 23. I hope we can see a little bit more scoring from him. We're going to need it. We're going to need it. But if he actually comes back healthy and can play and isn't going to get dinged again, that's a very, very – that's going to give us a lot of juice right at the right time. I says, tell Kyle we all lose weight during the playoffs. He gained 35 pounds last year, or 25. He gained 25 pounds during last year's playoffs because of all the ice cream and donuts and cake. David says, my diet failed. I will now concentrate on growing taller. I got bad news for you, David. My dad shrunk so much. He's only 78, and he was always 2 inches taller than me, and he's already 2 inches shorter than me. I feel bad for him. Science says, who would I have in the fourth? Boquist, Greer, or Puljujarvi? Man, I don't know. Like, there's any combination in the world you wanted to do because Rodriguez can play center as well. I mean, you could literally go, not that I think he would do this, but you could go Rodriguez with Puljujarvi and Boquist if you wanted to. I would like to see Greer on the ice. I think of Boquist, Greer, or Puljujarvi, I believe Greer should be the guy on the ice. But I don't know what Maurice is going to do. Donna says, I won't be surprised if Vegas runs out of gas all the wins and effort they've put into their regular season games. The core is also older than ours. That could happen. Scrolling down to the bottom because I might have missed some. Dennis says, tell Matthias it's the best crappie fish he'll ever eat. Yeah. Hey, Simon. So I'm getting a free ham for Easter. Our local Redners, I still got an extra free turkey from Christmas. But if you spent $400 inside of the month, you get a free ham. So I'm going to go today. I got to go to the store. I actually get a free ham, which is good because I need all the free food I can get. Colin says, I found out this is the first time in playoff history the Panthers will start on the road against the Lightning. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Huh. Bulwer says, stress-induced weight gain is the worst kind because you get that minor stress from seeing the number. Yeah. Yep. I get it. Yeah, I mean, it's weird how it differentiated between Kyle and I. Because I was right there eating the donuts and ice cream with him, but I was not getting any sleep because I was with Fluffy all night long. I mean, I didn't gain any weight. He's gained 35 pounds since the start of last year's playoffs. Dave says, I'm way too fat now, 6'2", like 380. Damn, holy shit. Bro, that's a heart attack. My brother Gene had gotten to the point, and he's 5'11", and I think he had gotten to like 3 1/4, and he's started to lose some weight. When I last saw him, he had lost like 60, 70 pounds. But 380, David, man, that's one day you're just not going to be here on the chat. Holy shit, bro. Get that sucker to 280. At least that's manageable. 380, that's got to be difficult. But yeah, biscuits and gravy taste good. I get it. SoFlo says, Dave, Tkachuk is the heart and soul of the team, and we're surprised that we haven't done great without him in the lineup. We should look like a completely different team come April 19th. If he's in there, I agree. Midnight, I know, man. No disrespect, Midnight. I need Montreal to win. I already wrote the game 1 intro, and Montreal in that version wins. So if Montreal chokes it up, I got to do an entire rewrite. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. Damn it, I had some really good lines in there too. But Montreal's got to finish. Dave says, growing up in St. Palermo, my birthday meal was snook, specks, swamp cabbage, and pig. Oh, man, yeah. It's snowing again, Kenneth? Jeez. Yeah, it's like 82 there, yeah. TK says, limit Kyle's booze intake. The only booze he drinks is what you guys see him drink on camera. Like maybe once every 2 or 3 months, he might have a small glass of wine. The only alcohol he drinks is what you guys see him drink on camera, which is pretty rare. We don't even have it in the house usually. I says, how about we all just move into the woods, disconnect from online, and come back in a month and see how the team did? Oh, man. Yeah. I'll do that. Yeah. Everybody send all your super chats now. Well, everything you were going to super chat during the playoffs, just send it now, and I'll just go on vacation. And it was I's idea. Don't blame me. Eric, we'll see. I don't think we're going to see a fight tonight. David says it's crazy when I have blood pressure, perfect, resting, heart rate low, and you smoke, but you're 56. You don't fear going at all, just sticking around for the cats and your mom. All right. You don't have kids, David? If you don't have kids, honestly, I'd rather live a fun 65 years than be miserable but live till 95. I can understand that. If you don't have kids, David, I can understand that. I hope so, Eyes. Says Habs are going to win. Boulevard says the moment I was 5'6" and hit 210, that was the siren blare for me. Since then, 60 to 70 pounds lost. Dang. I'm 5'6", Boulevard. When I was in the military working out, I got to 206, but it was different. I was 18. I went from mom and dad's house to free food and a free gym, and I took advantage of it, to say the least. Yeah, David, no kids, you don't drink alcohol. Yeah, all right, so then enjoy your life. As long as it's not causing you, like, problems getting around or whatever. My grandfather, the last 3-4 years of his life, all he did was eat bacon and beer. That was it. Bacon, beer, and ice cream with pound cake. Like nothing else. Bacon, beer, pound cake with ice cream. And his heart just slowed down and stopped. Like he had a couple of mild episodes, but he was in the hospital. They were going to put a pacemaker in him. And he just laid there with my father, and his heart just slowed down and slowed down, and he went to sleep, and his heart just stopped. Just like it was perfect. 86. Yeah, Simon, I bought a pancake griddle and the pancake mix and all of that, and so we'll be making pancakes for the playoffs. Yes. Yeah, a long time ago when you got at a basic, you weighed 230, right? Halo Top ice cream for the playoffs as a sub. They're all under 400 calories per pint, and they have 10 grams of protein. If they have it, I'll look at it. We're going to do the pancakes though for this year, I think. No, he hasn't made the pancakes yet. He's probably going to make them Friday. He'll probably stand there at the oven and make a big batch while I go fishing. Ha ha ha. Yeah, I should feel bad about that, right? The kid sleeps through half of these streams I do at noon. I don't feel bad if I go fishing while he makes pancakes. I mean, in case you guys haven't noticed, I talk about going fishing, and then like maybe twice a week or twice a month, I actually get out there and go. Speaking of fishing, Chris Wilson Fishing, how you doing, buddy? Says this team is about to turn it on. If Paul isn't worried, neither am I. Yeah, I'll agree with that. Dave says, please don't think I'm depressed. I'm really not. I just know this life, like a wisp of smoke, goes quick to be kind. I get it. I get it, man. Hey, I get it. Look, I got 3 kids. I've had 7 dogs. I mean, if there's anybody that wonders what life would have been like without all those responsibilities, and I could have just eaten, what would be my thing? If I could just eat anything I wanted, like actually almost can't eat anything I want and not gain weight. But if I could like sit there, donuts, Entenmann donuts. Like if I could pick one thing, that I could just eat nothing but that and not get sick, Entenmann donuts. Oh God. Yeah. A box, a 12-pack for breakfast, a 12-pack for lunch, and 24 for dinner, and a midnight snack. Yeah, Eric, I agree. The key of the series is going to be who stays healthy the most. Tell Kucherov, stop sticking his knee out. All right? Fair trade. Bennett won't sucker punch anybody, but tell Kuch to keep his knees to himself. David, oh, that's another way to look at it too, right? I get it. I always go the other way, David. I add years. So I'm 53, but it's an extra 10 years per kid, so that makes me 83. The ex-wife is another 20. I'm 103. Karen, that's worth like 50. Karen was worth like 50 years. I'm like 153 years old. Oh, wait, 5. You got to subtract 5 years per dog, though, because they add years to your life. So I'm like 115. Boulevard says you can use this for the football channel, but 30 minutes ago, the Dolphins and Jalen agreed. Yeah, I saw that, Boulevard. Appreciate that. When I was looking at I go to YouTube to watch some highlights, and now the Dudley Durong's video came up. The Dolphins are tanking, which is perfect. It's perfect. It'll make for great content this year. Can't bitch about the Panthers. So, yeah, it'll make for great content. Yeah, we'll make a deal there, Eric, right? Cam, yeah, we are. Cam is asking if we're going to do a bracket challenge with the viewers as soon as we know all of the playoff teams. That's happening. That's absolutely happening. And there's a good chance, I think Friday night, I might. Depends on how hard I work Kyle this week. But we might do like a playoff preview Friday night stream. Donna's going to be here. We can get Kyle drunk. It can be like we can rotate. I'll host. Kyle will host. Yeah, we might do that Friday night just to talk about all the matchups, since we're not going to know the matchups. Like Thursday at noon, we may not even know the matchups. So maybe Friday night we'll do that and just have some fun with it. Chris, 115, I know. I got you, David. I hear you, man. Yeah, I can understand that. A hamburger with donuts. Oh, man. You had a hamburger with donuts for buns last week. Took me a second to figure out that sentence. Outstanding. Exactly, Chris. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Bolt says, I promise I tell Kucherov stop sticking out his knees. Seriously. Let everybody be cool, right? I mean, look at it this way. One of us has to win the series. It'd be nice to keep the cup in the state of Florida. So let's try not to destroy each other and then make it impossible for the team who wins the series to go in the second round. Let's look at it that way, right? Let's just be cool with it. And we got good enough teams. We don't need to do that, right? We got good enough teams. We don't need to do that. Let's save that for the Leafs. If the Leafs make it out of the first round, save that stuff for the Leafs. No offense, Leaf fans, but it should at least be a concerted effort to make sure to keep the cup in Florida, right? No running into Bob. No sticking your knee out, Cooch. We won't have Bennett, punch anybody. We'll try to get Tkachuk to limit the cross checks, right? I can't control Marchand though. I did nothing I could do. I have nothing to do there. All right. I don't know what we're going to do about him. I can't promise he's not going to lick anybody. Dr. Doom says, Jaws, one thing I hope is the Jets take a huge step to have momentum in the playoffs. Just get out of that first round. You should too, man. I mean, you're either going to be playing the Wild, the Blues, or the Flames. You should be winning the first round, especially if it's Calgary. Especially. Just make Weegar handle the puck. That's our gift to you. If you end up playing the Flames in the playoffs, just make Weegar handle the puck under pressure in the playoffs. It doesn't go well. Simon, I'm going to try to go Friday. And, once the playoffs are over, I'll be out there every day because I'll need to go catch some food. Because once hockey's over, the money dries up. I'm going to have to go hunt for my dinner. But I'm going to try Friday to get the members podcast out and have it be fishing. I hope so. Oh, my God, Bover. I don't think Orlando would be able to have the fan base. I don't think Orlando would have enough, between the Panthers and Tampa being so close already. I just don't think Orlando would be able to have enough to have a whole nother team. I hate to see what the TV would end up being. How they have the blackouts. Suddenly you'd be getting, blacked out with certain games. They need to fix the NHL's TV stuff. It's a mess. That could happen. Eric. Are the Heat in the playoffs? I wouldn't be interested in the I haven't watched basketball in so many years. I couldn't tell you anything about anything with basketball. Kenneth says, what's the score tonight? 4-1 Tampa. Yeah. As long as I'm predicting losses, 4-1 Tampa. I can't imagine a scenario where we win this game when we have nothing to play for and Tampa can still win the division. Bower says, at least you can watch NHL games. You can't even watch ML games at all. Explain that. Explain that to me. What's that about, Bovar? Yeah, you enjoy the Bolts game and then the Tampa Bay Rays. Colin says, no more score predictions. Just say the Panthers will come out of this game healthy. Well, what I can guarantee you, Colin, I can guarantee you that Tkachuk and Ekblad will not get injured tonight. That I can guarantee. Nirmac, that's a good question. Did they have anything from practice yet? All right, Chris. I'll talk to you later, bud. Did they have anything out from practice yet? I would assume the guys that were in last night and out, I would assume that they would switch. I would assume that they would switch Barkov, Reinhart, Bennett out, Lundell, Lusterine, and Marchand in. That would be my assumption. Forsling out, Kierstead in. Again, my assumption. Mikla didn't play last night, so he'd get on the ice. Somebody else would get off. Maybe Kulikov, Schmidt. Schmidt could use a night off. TK, at the end of the game, after that went down, they showed Sturm on the bench, and I'm pretty sure I could read his lips telling the coach saying, I'll be okay, I'm okay. I'm pretty sure that's what he said, because he didn't go to the locker room, so it must have just hit him where it hurt and didn't break anything, which is good. Boar says they have limited their product to only those in states that you can't watch out-of-state teams unless they play your team or international broadcast. So to only states that you can't watch out-of-state teams. Oh my, why? Are they trying to encourage people to go to the games, Boulevard? That's crazy. So basically, for baseball, is there no like center ice and you watch all the games? They don't have something like that for baseball? Universal Habs. Brother, Habs. You got it. We need a point. You have to win. Understand. I say it again. I've already written the full script for the game one intro, and Montreal making the playoffs is a big part of the script. I do not want to have to do a rewrite. Please, I'm begging you, just get a point. You have to finish. You have to finish this, Habs. So they don't, Boulevard. I see. So you can't even watch baseball, right? That's why you value the ESPN Plus from the NHL despite the blackouts. That makes sense. Dang, man. That just doesn't make any sense. You would think they'd be going the opposite way with people being able to watch the games more readily. You can't force people to go to a baseball game. Like where I am. Like even if I wanted to go to an Orioles game, it's going to take me 2 hours. Eric, yeah, so it's going to be on ESPN, yeah. So we'll have to make sure that we got ESPN loaded up here. Simon, I'm not sure what you're asking. You're asking me about what do I think about the people that don't make the playoffs and go overseas. Do you mean they think you're talking about the guys that are going to be playing overseas? So they have MLB TV for 150. I see. Work making you work. All right. I'll be safe for work, right? Fireborn, yeah. Let the Flames win. Let the Flames win. Do everybody a solid. I wanna be able to make fun of Uyghur in the playoffs. Not Huberto. I hope he does well. Let the Flames win. Plus, the Blues winning 12 straight and then blowing it would be fantastic. Yeah, and Bally Sports is pretty much bankrupt, right? Man. No, I guess then we should feel lucky to be able to watch the games. Eric says, please, Dolphins trade Ramsey to Bucks. It might not, I mean, you figure there's more of a chance of us trading him to an NFC team than an AFC team, right? I don't know what the Dolphins are doing. I mean, I know what they're doing, but it just looks like they're like, I mean, Greer's the one that gave these contracts out. That man is, in my opinion, one of the worst GMs in football. And we're just blessed by Zito, you know? So Kasuma says, I'm starting to doubt if getting Jones and Marchand was a good idea. Also, I hope we get playoff Bob again and we're screwed. Well, we was always going to be screwed without playoff Bob, right? Now, I think the Marchand thing's separate from the Jones thing. We always need somebody on that side next to Lundell, Luosterainen. I'm happy with it. I think it's going to pay dividends and probably be a better move than Tarasenko was last year. Now, Jones, I say it a million times, Jones and a first, it should have been more salary withheld. It should have been a third team and less salary coming our way. The thing about Jones is it's basically we gave Ekblad all those years and $7 million again because it's the same player. So did they plan on re-signing Ekblad and then found out he got busted and just brought in Jones and then are going to let Ekblad walk? It's not like we've heard anything about extensions. I think Jones is a good player. I think he's a good player. But $7 million, the way our cap structure is, I was a bit surprised. But in terms of Spencer Knight, he was never going to get a chance to start here. He was just never going to get a chance to play here. But I think that when I get it, Jones for Knight, even swap in the first was for the salary. Getting them to eat that much salary, I just wish we could have eaten a little bit more. Yeah, Universal, take just the point, man. I mean, the Canes don't have anything to play for. Gotcha, David. Robert says, our goaltending this year has fallen off tremendously from last season. Hope playoff Bob shows up as well. So in terms of the regular season numbers, because it is completely different. So last year Bob was 237 and a 915. This year he's 244 and a 906. And so the difference between the 237 and the 244, you're talking about less than, 1/10 of a goal per game. So I honestly don't feel like his goals against, that's pretty comparable. Save percentage is down a little bit, but we talked about this a couple days ago. It doesn't feel this way, but I think the only reason and follow me here, I think the only reason his save percentage is down so much is that while he's played only 4 fewer games, he has faced 207 fewer shots. So he's facing a lot fewer shots per game. Generally speaking, if he had played all 58 games, if you say 25 shots a game on average, which is a bit high for us, but even then, he would have faced 107 more shots this year than he did last year, or fewer shots. So we're allowing a lot less shots. Now, backup goalie numbers could be a little bit different there. TK says San Jose fans want Bennett and Ekblad. They can have Ekblad. I don't think I see either one of those guys going to San Jose. I'd be shocked. Flames. Lomberg doesn't start trouble tonight. Yeah, that's right. Lomberg too. That's right. I forgot. Not that I forgot about him, but you get what I'm saying. David says, in Bob's defense, Hardy's been giving up amazing chances. Yeah. And it's the defense. But it's interesting, though, is that we're giving up fewer shots. I wonder what Knight's numbers were. Let me see what Knight's numbers were if we were giving up fewer shots when he was here as well compared. Well, he wasn't with us last year. So we got to look at Knight this year and Stolarz last year. I'm curious. Oh, we don't have Knight. That's right. He's not. Okay, hold on a second. I'm curious. Do they have it split? All right, they do. So this year, his numbers were almost exactly the same as Bob's, 240 and 907. So he started 21 games for us and had 560 shots against. I wonder what Stolarz' numbers with us were last year in terms of how many shots per game he was facing. 24 games, 684. Knight was 21 games and 560. So that's about 25. So if he played for 660, so almost exactly the same. That's interesting. So in terms of when we're playing our backup goalie compared to last year to this year, we're giving up about the same number of shots. But when Bob's on the ice, we're giving up significantly fewer shots. Now, I can't figure out why that would be, but it is for some reason. Kenneth says, play of Bob and Jones, PB and J, they just go together. Right. Yeah, worse defense this year than last year. We're giving up more high-quality shots is how I feel about it. So, fatality, man. He's asking about the Islanders. You need a new GM. You need a new GM. He's stuck in 1980. I don't understand. No, this happens when guys just basically can't get fired. They've had such a long career, and they're kind of unfireable. He's just not done anything to make that team competitive for real in this conference for a while. For a while now, and they've just kind of stuck to the old guard a lot too long. I don't know what the answer there is. If he's going to just continue to plod along with the same recipe, the same thing's going to happen. You got teams like Montreal, Ottawa, passed you guys up, and unless they're going to, start getting younger and faster, maybe change things up a little bit, Islanders are going to be stuck in that same zone like Pittsburgh is right now. So, all right, everybody, I got to roll. I got to get to the grocery store and get my eBay pack and ship done. I'm not sure who. I would assume that Vanacek should be in. Vanacek should be in tonight. Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, everybody, appreciate all the support. Much appreciation. We're going to see you tonight live. And then after the Panther game, if any of the Western Conference games, they'll still be going. And we'll try to pick some of those up and see if we can't have some fun watching somebody either blow it, choke it, or clinch it. That was not safe for work. All right. I'll see you tonight.